Are you somebody that at one point in your life, or maybe even right now, consider yourself to be a people pleaser, or maybe even an over giver? Maybe you're like me and you're also a highly sensitive person. You've got empathic abilities. You feel things deeper than a lot of other people do. And you notice that, yeah, that people pleasing thing, that codependency thing, that's been something you've had some struggles with. And maybe it continues to be something that you struggle with. Well, if that's the case for you, I want to tell you a couple things. First of all, the ways that you feel about things are not wrong. And the ways that you have gone about operating in your life and your relationships are not your fault. Especially if you have done all kinds of stuff to give and give and give and give and give to other people because that's what you feel like you're supposed to be doing. But yet, maybe you feel like you're treated like a doormat, or maybe you feel like you're taken advantage of and taken for granted, or maybe it feels like no matter how much you give, you just can't get in return anything close to what you're actually giving out to other people. If you resonate with any of those stories, come on, my friend. I've got some vitamin D grant medicine for you that will bring you not only healing and a fresh perspective, but a way for you to turn the tide in your own life and step into a more powerful, whole, and truly lovingly confident version of yourself. Come on, my friend. Let's jump into this together. Welcome to you. My name is D. Grant Smith, and I am, yes, the growth farmer for personal development, combining both spirituality and storytelling and bringing everything together into one place for you to grow in and harvest the best version of you and your favorite version of you, which means we're going to have more fun in this game called life. That's what I'm interested in. How about you? If you haven't done so already, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't done that already. Now, I am very big on personal empowerment. I'm very big on personal development. I'm very big on spiritual growth. I'm very big on spiritual development. And you're going to hear me talk about all of these things the more that you watch my content. Now, if you haven't done anything with me before, or maybe you have a little bit, but you're like, you resonate so much with where I'm at, D Grant, but how can I get more of what it is that you're doing aside from these YouTube videos? Well, I've got a whole platform for people just like you and I, especially if you consider yourself to be somebody who is highly sensitive and empathic. And even more so if you find yourself in a leadership position in some form or fashion, whether that's leading your family as a parent or as a caregiver, you find yourself leading something in your job as a manager or a business owner, or you find yourself leading other people in the work that you do as a coach or as a mentor or as an entrepreneur and guide in some form or fashion. And if none of those things apply to you, there's still one more person that you're leading, you. So where you can grow more with me and get more from me in a combination of education, enlightenment, and entertainment that will totally bless your life and your relationships is at my website, growthfarming.com. I've got a whole list of amazing resources for you in the description that will bless your life, your relationships, your career, and your future, as well as your present. So go check that out. Okay, here's what we're talking about today. We're talking about people pleasing. And it's something that I've talked about a whole lot, especially going back about 6 years or so, something like that, to when I wrote a book that talked about my awakening and awareness that I had lived my entire life up to that point deep, 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 deep in codependency and people pleasing. And I was completely unaware of it. The book that I wrote is called Be Solid: How to Go Through Hell and Come Out Whole. And you can find that at the Growth Farming site as well. I'll put a link for it down below so you can grab that as well. But that whole book is an awakening experience for me and a playbook for people who suddenly realize, holy crap, this entire time I've been super codependent. I've been chasing after something that I wanted to have for myself and thinking that I had to prove myself to other people in order to have it. Is that your story? Have you walked around with a chip on your shoulder, something to prove all the time? Maybe in your working environments or your jobs, you have gone over and above and beyond so that people trust you and rely on you. And maybe you've done like 3 or 4 or 5 different people's jobs without ever asking for a raise or any sort of compensation because you wanted to be irreplaceable. That would give you job security, so you never have to worry about ever losing your job. And maybe that gave you a little bit of confidence for a bit, but after a while, it probably also led to a whole lot of burnout, because now more and more and more people are asking for things from you, but they're not really compensating you for it, for your time or your ingenuity or your creativity or your skills, and certainly not for your money, or not compensating you monetarily for all the things that you're doing. And it can lead to feeling very overlooked and underappreciated, and can cause a whole lot of bitterness inside your own consciousness towards all these other people. And at the root of that is a people-pleasing, codependent root. Something to address. Now, maybe this pattern has also shown up in your closest, most intimate relationships, maybe with your closest friends, maybe with your intimate partner or spouse, maybe with your closest family members, where you have given and given and given. And you do receive some things back, you receive love back, but maybe you're constantly wanting something different, but you don't know how to ask for it. Because another side of codependency, something we're taught, maybe directly or indirectly, is that we can't ask for what we want, because we're probably going to hear no. Has that been your story? Certainly my story for a very long time. And to be perfectly honest with you, it's something I'm still working through. I realized quite recently this year that I've been silent a lot in a lot of my closest relationships, because I experienced growing up asking for what I wanted and being told either, no, you can't have that, or I already gave you something yesterday or last week, you can't ask for that again. And so it created a story inside of me that if I ask for something that I want and I get it, I've just got to be satisfied with that one time receiving it. I can't ask for that again, because I'm over asking by asking a second time. Or I just need to learn how to be thankful and learn how to be grateful. Now, there's all kinds of greatness that comes from the practice of being grateful, but just because you ask for something and you get it doesn't mean you can't ask for it again, especially if we're talking about some sort of love or act of service or physical touch or any of the 5 love languages. We all have every right in the world to ask for what it is that we want and what it is that we need. And we fall back into these old patterns of being silent and not speaking from our true power and not believing in ourselves, by going back down these self-defeatist roads where we're telling ourselves a story that we're not going to get what it is that we want. Or we tell ourselves that we have to give first in order to receive. Is that a story that you've told yourself? Is that a story that other people have told you? That was a story that I was told a lot growing up. Oh, you've got to give first before you can ever receive anything. Well, then what does that turn into? It turns into us giving and giving and giving and giving and giving, hoping that that will earn us the right to be able to ask for something that we want too. But it leads to a whole lot of burnout, and it leads to a whole lot of feeling taken advantage of. And like you're constantly on this hamster wheel, constantly running, constantly chasing, constantly trying to prove yourself so that maybe you can get something back. All of these things are stories, and the stories don't have to be true anymore. Now, there's this whole saying of letting go of old beliefs that don't serve you anymore. And I'm questioning whether or not a lot of the beliefs that I've had for the longest time ever served me to begin with. And maybe that's neither here nor there, but it is worth saying that simply, we don't have to continue to entertain the old stories that we were brought up to believe in when we were kids or young adults, or any point up to this point right now in the present. If the story isn't serving, you don't have to keep reading it. You don't have to keep telling it to yourself. And you don't have to allow it to continue to condition your mind and your thoughts and your beliefs. You can let that old story go. You can press pause on this whole idea of having to prove yourself to anyone or anything, because you have nothing to prove. You, my friend, are worth believing in. You are worth fighting for, and you are worth giving to. You are worth compensating to and for. You are worth receiving from and for. You deserve to receive. You deserve to receive more than what you've given. Try that story on for a little bit. It's a story that I'm practicing because I'll be honest, I spent a really, really long time, aka 99% of my life, in giving mode and really struggling with receiving. And I'm understanding now that sometimes we will go through moments, we'll go through periods of challenge that are shaking us at our core, because those challenges, those opposite experiences from what we want to experience, are showing us, hey man, this is not the way that you want things to be. And the only person that has the power to change that story is you. So being made aware of the stories that you don't want to live is actually a gift, so that you can take your creative pen in your consciousness and rewrite a new story. Want to know how to do that? I'd love to help you. This is one of the premier ways that I serve people, by getting into the muck of the nasty old story that you don't want to be living and having a safe space for you to share your heart. And I get to provide that safe space. No judgment, no blaming, no criticizing, just an active, honest listener for you to process all these things that you don't understand, and for us to together navigate the best path for you moving forward out of all of the stuff that has been difficult and stressful and striving and people pleasing, and into a place where you are standing on the solidarity of your own awesome self-concept, fully basking in the glory of yourself and embarking on your own exciting, empowering, and enlightening adventure into the story of your dreams. We do this one step at a time, and I get to join forces with you in taking that step, and then the next step, and then the next step. Want to know how to do that? Drop down into the description and see all of the options below of how you and I can work together. I appreciate you. I believe in you. I love you. And I hope that, if anything, you will take away from this the realization that you have the power within you right now to let that old story go. You don't have anything to prove. You don't have anything to earn. You're already worthy right now, exactly as you are. If this resonates with you, let me know in the comments. Like this video, share it so other people can feel excited, encouraged, and empowered. And also, connect with me through the courses and books and coaching options that I have in the description below. I believe in you. I love you. I look forward to working with you, and I will definitely see you again soon.